Hey, it's Walt, One Fall WrestleCast. Hey, got some fun stuff. Pee-wee's running a little late here. Mr. Derek's running a little bit late. So Tom and I are just gonna go ahead and have at it. Couple things to talk about. Liv Morgan, your new WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Money in the Bank. What a fun little event Money in the Bank was. Vince McMahon tells WWE writers to pull their head out of Dave Meltzer's ass. Can't wait to get Tom's take on this one. And some very, very interesting things popping up on WWE television this week. We're going to talk about that, and I'm sure God knows where else we're going to go. So, yeah, we'll catch you after the intro here.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Yo!
What's up, dude?
Nada. Although, it's all right. Is Derek going to show up and surprise me in some face paint again? Is he?
No, that I am
That's not
anticipating that happening. No.
Is that why he's not here?
I was in on the last one.
That would be acceptable if that's the case.
I'm just irritated this time because he texted me. He texted me at like 4:30. He was like, "Getting ready to start cutting the lawns. I'll be there on time, buddy. Don't you worry." Yeah. He's doing real well.
When you live down in the holler, it's all you got is grass down there. You don't have internet. You got whistle pigs. Yeah, you got Jeep trails. You don't have internet, but you got whistle pigs and grass. But yeah, but if you have a Jeep, the fun part is driving the Jeep to the trail. Yeah. So like you don't have to live on the trail. You just like drive the Jeep there because the Jeep is a car. It's like, I gotta live on this trail because I don't have a Jeep. Anyway.
But he lives on that trail though.
Well, it's nice. I mean, it's nice of him to let you come and hose your Jeep off after you mud up his trail.
With his gated tent.
Gated tent.
Yeah. Down there in Holler.
Is that what you're calling his house now? A gated tent?
Yeah, a gated tent. Oh, shit. Everybody's probably like, oh, man, why is Walt always so mean to Derek? Listen, if I wasn't mean to Derek wouldn't know what to fucking do with himself. Like, that's just the way that our relationship is built.
Derek is one of those people that needs somebody to keep him in line. I had a friend. I have a friend like that too. I had a friend like that. We don't talk anymore because he moved away and there was nobody around to keep him in line anymore. And now he's just off the fucking rails. And he's like a furry one week, and then he's like, I'm going for like going to be a top World of Warcraft guild this week, and then now I'm going to be the Fortnite champion. I'm like, dude, you don't have a job, man. Like, get a job. He's like, shut up, man. I don't need toxic people in my life. I'm like, no, but you're a father now. Maybe you need to make money to live. Oh, but
yeah,
one of them people. Yeah. So
I think we all know a couple of those in our lives.
Yeah, but it's good that somebody keeps Derek in line because he goes to work. Yeah. He cuts the grass. I mean, he's late to everything, but I mean,
I can't.
You can't fix everything, but I mean, at least he's a functional human being.
Yeah, he's not in jail, so
he's certainly enjoyable to be around, whether it's for the comedic event or the comedic timing or his occasional
he's gonna be late, but it'll
be fine.
Hey, by the way, how was your fourth, bud?
Busy, crazy actually. So we did it up. We got up in the morning, kids did sparklers and stuff outside. Woo! And then pool opened at noon. We were there at noon when it opened. We stayed at the pool for about 2.5 hours or so. Kids did like paddle boat races and had hot dogs and stuff at the pool. We have a big like pool party like in Green Tree. We have like a big pool party. So we had a pool party. The whole neighborhood was there. Had a blast with that. So all their friends, all our neighbors and stuff. And then we went home, chilled out, ate some dinner, hung out a little while, cooled off because we'd just been in the sun for like 3 hours, and then went to 4th of July is also Dormont Day. Joe Grishecki plays Dormont Day like every year, so it's Joe Grishecki, Zambelli fireworks, hot dog. Like they pull up food trucks. So the Nathan's hot dogs were there. So were Kona Ice. So was ice cream, and it was a ball. And again, the whole neighborhood, because everybody's at the pool party during the day, the whole neighborhood comes down to Dormont for the evenings events because they're the best. They are by far the best. It's like Zambelli, so it's like going to a Pittsburgh Pirates fireworks night, but you're at the Dormont pool. So
Motown killed it this year with fireworks, bro. For sure.
They did.
Like, I'm really, really, really surprised. But pleasantly surprised. We had a good little night down there as a family. But nice. Sunday's really when we did it up. Like, we were all here and put out the couple of pools that we got. The little kiddie pools. Threw those out. Put the sunshade up, through the slip and slide in the yard. We got a splash pad. I had all that shit out. And then just had a little cookout, hung out, just a fam, and then went and did the thing on Monday.
Cookouts
awesome.
Cookouts are good. We've sort of been on a diet for the last. It's going to be through the 7th. We're doing the slim. Obviously, like it's not that serious of a diet, but it's pretty good. There's
no calories in whiskey.
There's about 70 per like glass, which is really super low. No calories, just here. All right, that's fine. I like your explanation better. So, it's been good. I mean, that's been good though too. Like I didn't really eat
whiskey's made from water, bud.
I mean, anyway, I'm not arguing. I like I like where you are with that. I didn't have any cookout food, but I've eaten my share of hot dogs and stuff. So I didn't really miss.
I made steak.
I made steak the other day too. It was pretty good. So that's what we're shooting for, is just like lean meats and stuff and taste.
Yeah.
I'm down like 5.5, almost 6 pounds. So
that's good. That's good. Keep that up.
Like 5 days. Yeah. Get through Friday.
Hey, so you know who else might be down like 5 or 6 pounds? Maybe 8.
Who? You?
Dave Meltzer, because apparently
a head got pulled out of an ass.
Yeah, there's
human head weighs 8 pounds.
Yeah, so I was right? Or is it the brain weighs 8 pounds?
Human head weighs 8 pounds.
And I feel like
the average human head. Yours maybe like 13.
So I don't know. Like Vince McMahon wanted to get away from ranking matches. And this was former magazine writer for the WWE, Brian Solomon, revealed it was once pitched to produce the greatest steel cage matches ever list for the WWE publication. The idea was shot down by Vince, though, who simply told the team they needed to take their heads out of Wrestling Observer newsletter founder Dave Meltzer's ass. Are we surprised by Vince's comments here?
Absolutely not.
Fuck
I mean, it's really hard to, because like Vince McMahon is like the devil incarnate himself, right? Like it's hard to be like, but 9 times out of 10, Vince is absolutely right with stuff like this. And I know this likely happened a while ago. This gentleman no longer works for WWE, so this was probably 4 or 5 years ago. But for Vince to be like, get your head out of Dave Meltzer's ass, this is not what we are. And it's not. And it's rightfully so. Like, every other indie promotion, NXT at the time was too, as, so all that stuff, the in-ring quality at WWE is phenomenal. Like, I'm not here to say, they don't care about in-ring quality. It's the best it's ever been.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's gotten exponentially better in the last year. Like, exponentially better.
But I mean, and on top of that, I mean, it's just been, I feel like it's been getting better and better and better since, for a long time. I mean, they don't work. If you go back and watch older pay-per-views, the matches are much less exciting. It's just less put together. But this doesn't surprise me about Vince McMahon, because he's not putting together a sports show. He's putting together of the greatest sports icons of all time. Like, it's a little bit that, but really what he wants to put on is a good television show. Right. Yes. And I think that, we really saw that WWE does their best stuff when, especially in my opinion, their best like TV show type stuff when they have, it's like a holiday episode when there's like, well, this happened before the show, like they did on Monday. It was like before the show, we had a cookout. We had a WWE cookout. And all of these things transpired. They kept calling back to it and calling back to it. And all of these things that transpired at the cookout rolled out into matches on Raw. And it was fun. It was exciting. It was like Ezekiel and Seth Rollins went at it, had a banger of a match for about 5 or 6 minutes. And but it was because Zeke was trying to get the ketchup out, and he squirted it all over Seth Rollins' red shirt. And then they had a match about it. It was great.
So, I mean, it's just hot shot and everything for an episode and giving you some short-term storytelling, which they do very well.
And it binds the whole, it really binds the show together. The show is like, it's not just like segment. It's like it's a flowing, it's a TV show. It flows. There's beginning, middle, and an end. There's a story to follow. It's not just like, here's a match, here's another match, here's another match. And I think that's really what Vince is priding himself on. It's like, well, we want to put together the best TV show possible. Like, yes, I want the matches to be good, obviously, but I'm not going to book matches to just pop Dave Meltzer. And right. I think that's really what this is at, because he shouldn't. I mean, that's what New Japan does now. That's what AEW is doing now. That's what every other wrestling promotion is trying to pop Dave Meltzer. And it's like Dave says these ridiculous things and only gives a crap about certain things. And it's not even clear what makes a 5-star match either, right? Like,
well,
it's
now
not
there's
even,
like 32-star matches. Like,
sure, I mean, there's
FTR and Young Bucks do like 38 stars.
No, I think it was 7. I think it was 7-star, like, 7-star FTR.
You skew your own rating system. It's kind of hard to take that fucking seriously.
But that's the thing, is that like it's impossible to take it seriously because there's nothing concrete about it. You're not scoring points or anything to like get a high. It's not. You're not playing Donkey Kong. That's not what it is. And so. No, I think Vince is absolutely correct. The fact that it came out as a news story is actually, to me, the more shocking thing, right? Because Cultaholic reported on it like it was like, oh, breathtaking new stuff. It's like, how would you not deduce that this is exactly how Vince McMahon would feel?
Right.
Because that's clearly how he feels. In fact, had Vince said the opposite, guys, we gotta get Dave to give us some 5-star matches. Like, had Vince said that would have blown my mind, right? Like, that would be something to talk about. The fact that Vince is like, you guys gotta get your heads out of Dave Meltzer's ass is like, yeah.
Oh, it's like the Vinciest Vince thing to Vince.
Yeah. It's like, just listen to the boss, do what he says. Just don't touch that dinosaur on the wall because he gets mad about that, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably would too, because word on the street is the dinosaur is like legit.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like, it's not like the replica that you can buy that looks legit. Like, no, that's legit.
Yeah, I bet Vince dug that out of the ground with his own hands, carried it in there. That makes
Genetic jackhammer.
He only sleeps 2 hours a night, pal. He hates it.
If he's lucky.
He hates sleeps too. He hates to sleep. He goes to sleep and he's so mad about it.
I always love hearing like the backstage stories when they talk about Vince and like, some of his Vince-isms, we'll call them, like not sleeping, not getting sick, and like I guess he like
hating to sneeze.
Like he like makes fun of people for being weak when they sneeze, and he hates to sneeze because and if somebody sneezes, it pops him, and then he starts picking at him. Like that's Vince. That like these are like funny Vince quirks, right? Like. There's not another Vince McMahon in the fucking world.
Thank God. And thank God. Thank God this one decided. I think we said this before. Thank God this one decided to conquer pro wrestling and not the world.
Instead of the world, yeah. We talked about that.
Otherwise, we'd be in a lot of trouble. But instead, we just watch good TV sometimes.
Hey, speaking of Vince, dude, how did you catch what happened Saturday night after Money in the Bank?
No. Oh, you mean with Pat McAfee and Corbin? Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
about.
No,
then I don't know.
I'm talking about Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Pat McAfee,
Oh,
and
they
Nick
went
Khan
to they
going to
went
the
to
UFC
they went to
and
the UFC thing.
then getting posted on there that they were there, right? So I thought that this was really funny because McAfee talked about it on his show, and he's like, "Well, they came over and they framed it up, and it was just Vince." And then Vince was like, "No, it's got to be this." And then they framed it just Triple H, Stephanie, and Vince, and then they realized that was Pat McAfee, so they like shoot him in, right? And that's the only reason he made the shot. He wasn't supposed to be. UFC producers didn't want him in there, so he ended up in there because he was playing the kayfabe because he got jumped, right?
Uh-huh.
But regardless,
I love that, by the way. The fact that he went to UFC in the kayfabe neck brace is, to me, like, you would have nobody needed to know, like, because that didn't even really happen. All that was like sort of an after air kind of like people were shutting off their TVs kind of thing. And like
a
you had
WWE.com exclusive or some shit. Like,
and the fact that like it all came together, because it didn't have to come together. They didn't have to take Pat's picture. We maybe didn't know, but the fact that they cut that in, and that to me is like Pat McAfee is the greatest TV wrestling personality. To me, currently, maybe since Bobby the Brain Heenan. And
so he was keeping kayfabe on his own show because they were talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought I had a T1, T2 fracture. They thought my career was over, and he's going on and on. He's like, come to find out, I got a little bit of whiplash. All I got to do is do this for a couple of days, be all right." And he's selling it, right? Like, it's just keeping it kayfabe, man. I love me some fucking Pat McAfee, but I don't want to get sidetracked because the reason that I brought up the UFC thing was, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when Tony Khan tweeted about how stupid Vince McMahon was after they downsized the venue from Allegiant Stadium to the arena at the MGM Grand? TK had said, "Oh yeah, good luck going up against the UFC in International Fight Week," and then said something about Dana's killing it or whatever, right? So they go and they sell out the MGM Grand. That fucking crowd is lit. Like, the Vegas crowd was fucking incredible.
They really were. That was a good that crowd really pushed that pay-per-view up a notch, I think.
Yeah.
They really.
I think I commented on it a couple of times, like when we were like live chatting on it. You know what I mean? And it's like the crowd was awesome, and it's been awesome to have the WWE crowds get more engaged because I keep going back to it. When we did back-to-back shows, 10 days apart, right, with WWE and then AEW, like, those crowds are night and day. And I don't know, and we talked about this. I don't know if it's because the AEW plays those smaller arenas, right? And it's a lot more intimate, and you can really feel that energy inside that building, as to where, like PPG Paints is much, much larger. And and I mean, we're talking WrestleMania go home. And it just kind of felt like the crowd was flat. So I don't know if maybe they mic'd the crowd differently to get better reactions, or if it was because it was that smaller arena and you got like that full scope of enjoyment. That crowd was fantastic.
Well, it's still
really
hockey.
Made that event fun.
It's still a hockey arena. Like, it's.
I thought no, they weren't at T-Mobile. I thought they were at the MGM Grand.
Oh, maybe you're right. Okay, but I don't know. I don't know how big. I've never been in the. Wrong. I've never been in the MGM Grand. I don't know how big it is. It may be, big, smaller. I don't know.
It's more like, I would say it's like the Pete. You know what I mean? So like, it's
well,
like
they sold size. It. They sold it to the rafters because there was not an empty seat in that house.
It was awesome.
It was
but I just think that it's funny that Vince McMahon, went and showed up at the UFC after Tony Khan said all that shit. Like, those are the subtle jabs and like things that I try to find that crack me up, right? Like,
well, TK was there too, though.
No, he was not.
That was an old picture.
Jim Ross from like 4 pay-per-views ago.
Okay.
They weren't both there at the same time.
Okay. I was gonna say, I saw a picture of them like back to back. I was like, holy shit, was Tony Khan there too? Were they all in the same building together? Is that did the stars align, and did the earth open up like swallow people whole?
I mean, TK's convinced that he can get a crossover event done with WWE. Did you see that this week?
I saw that. It said he would be very willing to do it. I don't think the music is no chance in hell. You've got maybe if Vince dies, and is dead and is cold and dead for years, and if AEW builds up a little more, maybe. But I think beyond that, no, probably not. I mean, never say never, and I think that's probably what Vince McMahon would say.
I just want to say too, don't forget, there's a new sheriff in town.
That's a good point. She is the new. You know what? Too so far, her tenure has been stellar. All props to Stephanie McMahon. She gets all of the love for this because it's only been a couple weeks, but it's been a really good couple weeks.
Listen, I don't know if maybe Vince stepping away from the CEO duties and just
doing creative,
focusing on creative has because overall the product's been pretty damn good.
It's been so I watch too much TV and I play too much video and I play too much video games and writing and things is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The writing was awful. It was the worst writing for a show that I've ever seen written on a show, right? And it's hard to contrast because it's they're playing that, but then they're also playing a Marvel series at the same time. And the writing on the Marvel series is good, but then the writing on the Obi-Wan series is terrible. And I feel there's that contrast of the writing for WWE is just the way the promos work, the way they're delivered, the way everybody acts, the way everybody it's so good. It's such a good TV show. It's cheesy, yes, but it's one of those things where it's you can kind of see it where it's just everything ties together, like I said on this Monday night show, where everything ties together in a nice little package and it doesn't feel particularly forced, where bad writing feels forced. You know what I'm saying? All right, you've got something to say, so get it out.
I'm trying to follow along here.
It's okay. I'm just saying that WWE really feels like they're getting their writing and their show structure nailed down again because it was off the rails for a little while and it seems to be more nailed. And it seems to be more nailed down now.
I kind of felt like you were gonna you talked about how Obi-Wan and the Marvel thing, good and bad. I thought you were gonna on the flip side try to say that AEW television's not written well.
No,
I was going to respectfully disagree with you. That's what I was waiting for you to drive.
No, and I wasn't. That's not where I was going to go with it. I think that AEW. I think AEW is written differently. It's not the same. It's clearly not the same. It's hardly it's pro wrestling is pro wrestling, but it's the structure is totally different. I feel the announcers on WWE really managed to fix and sell a lot of things that maybe wouldn't have been fixed or sold on television. Like when Shotzi fell through the ladder, and I know you want to talk about Shotzi, and we can move to her next. When Shotzi fell through the ladder and botched her spot, Corey Graves immediately picked up and he was like, there's one of those examples. The ladder rarely does what you want it to do. And, these ladder matches are chaos. And that's
what they get paid millions of dollars to do, is to tell the story.
And I feel like AEW, commentary particularly botches stuff like that.
Well, I mean, they're shaking it up because JR's on fucking Rampage now and not on Dynamite. And we get to listen to the masked turd of fucking knowledge.
From Dusseldorf, Germany.
Yeah. Hey, are you jump in here, bud? Or are you just gonna sit and just watch Tom and I have an episode of One Fall WrestleCast?
Oh, there he is. Exploding barbed wire death match. He can't talk. He's got no microphone on.
Hey,
my microphone was off.
Yeah, Yeah,
was
yeah,
so
it was.
good, too.
It was. Yeah.
Damn it.
Good job. Good job.
I was kind of
I'm-
just hanging
I'm-
out, waiting on you to like smoothly bring me in, but
Well, I was going to, but then like, you know,
yeah.
Tom didn't go where I thought he was going to go. And I had to shift gears because
That was going to be a good segue.
Yeah. Yes.
I do need to apologize, fellas. I have a lot of real life shit going on today, so I'm sorry.
Because we talked about your appointment book in your calendar earlier in the episode while you were
It's
closing the shed. So you know, we talked about.
I took a quick sponge bath afterwards. I'm sorry.
So
wait, why do you have to take a bath? Take a shower like a man.
I'm a little red and sweaty still. Like I'm still sweating after I showered. Like,
Take a shower like a man.
Oh,
A sponge
shit.
bath. What do you?
You guys are killing me.
hey, so
Well,
Derek, did you watch Money in the Bank?
I did. I
Okay.
watched everything. The only thing I
Oh,
have not
good,
watched
me
up to
too.
this point
You're
is,
ahead of me,
NXT.
so that's good. That's good because I had a
NXT
lot of real life shit
well,
this week.
That's why
NXT
we
was
just make
really
you the
fun.
host, because you don't really ever watch wrestling anymore. So you're just good to keep us in line and going along the topics. And Tom and I kind of handle that shit because we actually watch wrestling stuff.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least this month, you're the one that's actually watching wrestling.
I may be
guess after
late, but I watched the
I
fucking
guess after
shows.
Tom and I got on your ass for not watching the product for 9 months, and you sitting there going, "Yeah, yeah."
Because you would have something to say. You did used to have something to say, like half say, and I'd be like, "Let me hold you right there." Did you watch the show? No.
No. I read an article
yeah.
about this.
But yeah, that's definitely me this month. So, anyways, I'm glad to hear that you watched Money in the Bank. We were just talking about Shotzi Blackheart and her botch that Corey Graves covered up. So Shotzi was under fire on Twitter this week
Taking
about
a lot of heat.
Taking a lot of heat about the botches, and even Tom in our live chat said Raquel Gonzalez, Raquel and Shotzi were not ready for this.
No.
I mean, that's a big time spotlight. First of all, let's not put over the fact. Let's not forget to put the fact over that that's their first big time spotlight thing.
Yeah.
On WWE TV. So there's got to be some nerves there, right? I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I think Shotzi Blackheart's the greatest worker in the women's division because I don't.
No.
But she's progressively gotten better since I started complaining about her in NXT, right? And she's not going to be a champion tomorrow, but it's good that she's in these spots, and she's going to make mistakes. But she fired back.
If anything, she might be Liv Morgan 2018.
Yes, Tom.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going to go with that.
And we
eventually
we see where that got
spot.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Brie Bella kicked Liv's lights out? Boom. Oh, boom. Look, wow, she sold that awesome. Oh, because she's out.
We all botch every once in a while. I mean, Brie Bella forgot how to tope suicida through after she had a baby. It happens.
They did. They saved Shayna Baszler saved her life. She did that to Shayna. Shayna saved her life that day. But no, I think with Shotzi too. I mean, she had 2 botches, but she also had a good spot because she got power. Did she take the power bomb or did she give the power bomb? No, it was
Shotzi took it, if I remember right?
No, Shotzi gave it, and I think Lacey Evans took it off the ladder. That rolling power bomb.
I know this is off topic. What a horrible gimmick Lacey had.
It's not a gimmick. It's a weird middle It's like
an Alexa Bliss tweener, but you're not Alexa Bliss.
It's not even that. It's her gimmick is it's like army, but also boobs. It's a weird it doesn't they're words you don't put together. It's why is this a gimmick? This doesn't make sense. She did throw the woman's right. It got a pop and it looked good. I felt she actually in that match felt non-existent for the most part. She took that power bomb and she threw a women's right. I can't think of another point where she was in that match other than when they were standing in the middle there. Shotzi unfortunately did have 2 botches, but she did take some good bumps and Shotzi is the new what the Riot Squad was when Ronda first debuted. She's the ragdoll. And unfortunately, she botched her ladder spot. I was hard on it at the time, but it's not that big of a deal, especially because Graves covered it up beautifully. Like the ladders just don't do what you want them to do, and you know what? That adds that level of realism that WWE sometimes loses. And I thought that they did a good job with that. I think Raquel
thankfully the finish of Money in the Bank ladder match ended up as it was supposed to, because as that was happening, I was like, this could be bad.
Well, let me get to that. But like the other person that I thought actually was a little bit, I don't want to say more egregious, but like Raquel was out of position like a ton. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like there were plenty of like her like scooting to the corner to lay in it and like scooting back, like putting the ladder back on top of herself and just doing stuff that was like the camera was on her and she's like, all right, I got to get in this position for this to happen. Timmy, what are you talking about? Like having to get in a position but it was weird and awkward, and it was like it drew my attention away from everything else that was going on. Becky and Asuka absolutely were the focal point of the match, and you could tell that the camera absolutely followed those two around the entire time for the most part, unless there was some other spot that needed to happen that somebody was getting their shit in. But Becky and Asuka were absolutely the focal point, and I thought their stuff was top tier. But then, like Derek was saying, the finish of that match really could have gone. But Walt, you and I talked about this, where I feel like Becky made sure that ladder was secure because she was standing next to it on the ladder. But the cameraman finally actually got a good angle. You didn't see that. If you looked hard and went back and slow motioned it, maybe you did. But like you didn't, it live and in the moment, nobody saw that, and it hasn't been brought up. Has not been brought up on the internet. So really like Liv bouncing off that rope and nailing that spot. That was the hardest spot to nail in the match by far. And she knocked it out of the park. And then she won she took it. She took the Money in the Bank, which was fantastic. There were some other sort of notable matches on that show too. I don't know if you guys want to talk about them or which ones you want to talk about.
I mean, I think that there was a lot of fun on that show, right? I really enjoyed the the tag team match, and then
it was good.
Then you had the men's match. I thought was fantastic.
Let's talk about Lashley versus Theory too, which was I thought that was a really good match. They put out 10 minutes of a like big man match. I love title changes. I love putting titles on Bobby Lashley right now. I like that he's gonna get a face run as US,
and they're going to elevate the United States Championship in the process.
Absolutely, and I think they did that in that match, particularly because I thought Theory did a good job with it for the short time that he had it.
He definitely put eyes on it.
He put eyes on it. He was out there, and I thought he did a really good job. I don't know that I can see him as the guy yet, but I think that he certainly was a relevant U.S. champion, and I liked what he did with that. I love it on Lashley. I thought that match was great. I love that Bobby Lashley has the title on him, and I can't wait to see what he does with it, because I think he's absolutely a superstar, despite being like 42 or whatever he is.
Listen, his WWE title reign was fantastic, and
I'd love to see another one.
And like I don't know that without MVP it would have been good. I think it would have been more very very much more like the Hangman title reign, where it's like what I mean? But MVP kind of carried that title reign, and I think that was the right place and the right time for Bobby Lashley to be the WWE champion, and the title reign was fantastic. And I know that we thought whenever he initially won it that it wasn't going to be great. But it ended up being very good.
Really, it was one of the better title reigns. It wasn't terribly long, and I think he actually had two. I think he actually had two reigns.
Yeah, he did have two. Yeah.
But I think that if we combine them together, they weren't a ton of time, but they were really. It was really impactful, and it was really good television. That being said, so the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, when they introduced Theory at the beginning of it, you called it like up, and there's your winner, and we all knew it, and it was so that kind of put a kibosh on the ending, I would say, because with the women's match, we had no idea who was going to win it.
You knew it had to be Liv or Becky. Like there was no way
but maybe,
around.
But like they could have swerved and made it Asuka too. Like
I'm not there with Asuka yet.
I felt like that was a legitimate idea, but once they
on this comeback, Derek, that's what I'm talking about. On this comeback, I'm not there with her yet.
Right. I'm just saying on that like put down of like, introducing Theory. One, give him his first name back for God's sake.
Yes, please. Agreed.
Give him his first name back.
Rabble.
Anyway, two, I'll tell you what. The match itself, though, I thought was phenomenal. I loved the secondary storyline of the match being we all have to kill Omos, and every time he gets up, it's like Rah! And he just smashes everybody for a little bit. That was the best Omos match. Because
he was barely in it. That's why.
Yeah, your job is to get your ass beat.
He was a prop.
But for every prop point he was in, he was perfect. He was he played his role perfectly in every spot he was needed to be in. Perfect. It was perfect.
Listen.
When they picked him up, when six of them dudes picked him up and threw him through the announce table, I was like, oh man, that was great. So I loved that point of the match.
When he power slammed Riddle, right? And like, cause usually like when he does things, he just like kind of stands and like does like these power moves and like never goes down with anything. But when he power slammed Riddle and he went off his feet, I was like, hey man, that's good. Good for you.
He's learning.
That hurt it. No, it's not learning. That hurt everybody involved. His knees feel like shit.
Well,
his knee,
he shouldn't actually be in there anyway. So
his knees probably feel like they're made of like hot dog and chicken wire. Like he's not. His knees are not. You don't get to be that tall and have knees that feel good when you land on them. It's just not. That's just not how that works. Honestly, truthfully, I thought Rollins would have been the better choice to have the briefcase because he's such a smarmy heel prick right now. I thought he'd have been great to just get in Roman's face for like, he could have tormented him for months. And I thought that would have been great. Theory with it, I think he'll do good things. And I understand the want to build a new star. I think the team. So
it's necessary.
It's that's the thing. It's like in my head, would I fantasy book it that way? Absolutely not. I want to see Seth Rollins be like Roman.
I want to see the feud.
Yeah, that's what I want. But and I want to see him torment Roman with it. But you know what? With if it's going to be Theory, I think that the potential is there. I think this is his make or break, though. If I'm being honest, I think that all right, here's your opportunity. Like he did a good job with the U.S. title. I'm not saying he didn't, but I think here's his opportunity, right? And it's like, okay, you do a good job with this, you're a top guy going forward. You don't, maybe we'll give it some time and you'll be back in the U.S. title. Maybe you'll chase the 24/7 champ around a little bit. Maybe you'll come back
go to
up.
TNA and come back in a few years and you'll have a sword.
It depends. A sword. Give him a sword.
Shots fired. Pew pew.
Now I want him to have a sword. If he has a sword, he and Drew McIntyre could sword fight. Like, let's do that.
My God.
Can we do that?
A fence off instead of a pose off. Yeah.
No, I just want him to smash claymores in the middle of a ring. It'd shatter because those are props. It'd shatter, throw like hollow metal into the arena. That'd be great.
Oh man.
Hey,
I think there's a better option to put that on? No, but do I think he's going to be a good option down the line? Absolutely. He's a young kid. He looks great. He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
The kid is freaking jacked. And I've seen interviews with his parents and whatnot. And his mom actually said, you could leave him in a room full of alcohol. He won't touch a drop of it. You leave him in a room full of protein. There's going to be nothing left whenever you come home.
I feel
the
like
guy's dedicated to his craft. So I don't see a problem with him being a top guy going forward.
He's a very young guy too, and I think that's really what WWE needs. And I think he's really going to be a good next gen. I hate to say next generation because WWE's used that already, but he's a great he's the next generation of superstar.
Absolutely.
He's a guy we're going to be talking 10 years from now.
What I find interesting about all of this is that he spent time learning from Johnny Gargano in
Yeah.
NXT, and now like they're putting the rocket on him for him to be the next Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening here.
Well, I don't know if he'll be the next Roman because they tried to make Roman not the way he is now.
But also Theory's a heel. And they're not trying to ram him down our throat as a baby face whenever everybody could see right through that bullshit. So like I think that's where they've made some changes on that piece.
They have. And I love to hate Theory. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great character.
I love
great
his
character
shtick,
work.
The other spot
he's next to take on either Brock or Roman though, and cash the Money in the Bank contract in on them. I think it's going to be a fail when it happens. I think he might cash it in on him, but I don't think he's going to actually get the title out.
Yeah, it doesn't really put him in a winnable spot, man. It
really doesn't. And maybe he just holds it and doesn't do. I hope he just holds it for a while and walks around with it, takes pictures.
I'm sure he will.
Like he needs to let this Roman Brock stuff go because, yeah, just let that go. The other spot in that match that I loved was Butch running out. That son of a bitch, Butch. Loved it. Loved that so much. That to me was the other bright spot in the match where it was just good on Pete Dunne for doing for really, we talked about this months ago. It's a make or break thing. You embrace the character and you make it good, or we'll see an AEW or something there later, I guess. But you know what? He's absolutely jumped in. Embraced the Scrappy Doo character, and has honestly entertained the hell out of me with it. So I like it. I think I'm entertained. I'm into it. When he shows up, I pop a little bit. That's what else do you want from a guy like that, right?
Yeah,
like he's not big enough. It's like, oh, I want Pete Dunne to fight Roman Reigns and be the WWE champ. No, it's not gonna happen. But if you want Butch to wander out with two other big lads and have big time feuds with big time superstars and be a big time superstar himself, he doesn't necessarily need a title. He just needs a really good gimmick, and I think he's in one right now. So
big time Butch.
There we go.
Oh shit!
That's his West Virginia gimmick.
So Rick, so I want to talk about running with things, right? Like, obviously the intro to WWE, the then now forever together thing, right? Like that's undergone some changes in the last several months. From Ric Flair being removed,
now he's back,
and now he's back. The Woo is back.
Woo!
So Rick tweets out.
Charlotte will be back soon too. Charlotte will probably be back at SummerSlam, I think.
So Rick tweets out, I lost my dignity when I lost my spot. Thank you, Vince McMahon and WWE, for giving me my dignity back.
It's a little over the top.
It's a little much, but
it's a little, look at me. I have an event coming up at the end of this month. But I'm happy for him. I would be happy if I had a spot in the opening of WWE. I mean,
I'd love it. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's so I don't know. I'm a Ric Flair fan. I'm glad he's back. It seems to have blown over the problem. I kind of don't remember what it was at this point.
The little British Airlines lady finally got paid.
Oh, right. It was the Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that had been a long time. And anyway, so I'm glad that that he's back. I hope there's no hard feelings. Clearly, there was some Ric Flair-ness involved there, but I don't know. Rick, I think Rick's been a little over the top with everything lately. Over the last several months or whatever, I think Rick's been very everything's been oh my god, oh, this is the biggest thing, this is the worst thing. It's like, geez, dude, you can't be let's just get on the straight and narrow. You're 78 years.
Well,
it's just the Ric Flair personality, man. He's got to be the center of attention all the time. So we got to be larger than life in any emotion that we're feeling.
He's been the gimmick for almost 80 years of his life. So you know what?
And he's not done.
Jeez, oh my God. I'm going to watch, I think, but I don't want to see him die.
He's literally going to be like, all right, sorry, that wasn't my last match. This next one is a death match, and it's for real. I'm literally going to die.
Literally going to die.
He might die. I mean,
that could happen this time.
Maybe tuning into him dying. I mean, that's something that like the old timers are worried about, bud. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, we've already lost New Jack, or I would definitely rally for him to be the opponent.
Wait, you would let New Jack murder Ric Flair?
Let's just end this.
Okay.
Let's let New Jack murder.
Let's calm down.
Yeah, let's back that truck up a little
I will buy that on Fight TV.
Let's just stop. Okay.
Derek,
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what a QR code is?
I do.
Well, what is it?
Now that I have an iPhone, they actually work on my phone.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So would you like to explain to me what a QR code is?
Oh, it's this little like square thing that does. You take a picture of it, and it can show you a restaurant menu. It can show you information about all kinds of different advertisements.
So it's a digital portal, basically, right?
Sure, that's a fine example.
Let's go with it that way, right? So, did you watch Great American Bash?
I did not watch that.
See, I didn't either, right? But
I saw what was going on.
Tom did, but listen.
So, oh man, I watched most of it. Great American Bash was tremendous.
But so they put a QR code up before they went to a commercial break, okay? And when you scanned, all right, so they put this QR code up, right? And if you scanned it, it took you to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 8, 10, 11. Now, the internet's going wild. Okay.
I mean, that's what the internet wrestling community does, though.
Right.
Wrestling hasn't been on for 24 hours. It's on now. Wrestling hasn't been on for 24 hours, so they needed, oh my God, what is this thing? Who knows?
I mean, there's a lot of things going on out there. Some people automatically assume it's Bray Wyatt.
It's always Bray Wyatt. Everybody thinks it's Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
It was like CM Punk. Like until CM Punk came back, everything was CM Punk, right? Yep. Like it was like, oh my God, CM Punk's gonna come back because 8, 10, 11, like CM Punk was a champion on that day, like a long time ago, and it's like, but that was like a 300-day title run. Like he was champion most of the days all the days that month. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, it's Bray Wyatt. Oh no, it's and then what was it? It's Triple H because it's the 8, 10, 11 issue of WWE Magazine had Triple H on the cover, and now Triple H is back in NXT and he's in charge or something. I don't know. It's a lot of like, who knows what it could be. I don't think that it's anything. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's probably like a countdown, to a new person, like a new remember the Jericho like Y2J countdown?
Yeah,
it's maybe something like that. Like we'll probably get another QR code, and like it'll all the numbers will shift lower, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. There's a lot of fun stuff out there about it. Like you touched on a couple of them. I know some people think it might be Edge.
Well, there was that vignette on Raw too that was Edge. Right. I mean, Edge was in the vignette clearly. Like the guy.
If you don't know that's Edge, you're just talking out of your ass because you want it to be Bray Wyatt.
Like clearly that was Edge.
100%.
Man, what if it's Edge? What if it's Edge and Bray Wyatt, and they come back and fight Judgment Day together?
That would be fantastic.
That would be great. I don't think that's too cool. So that's not going to happen. I feel like this is my like. So that would be cool if that happened. So it's not going to happen because it's cool. Like does that make sense? Like that's cool. So that's not how that's going to happen. What else did he
come back as a heel again though? I swear, if he comes back as a face, I'm going to be so pissed. I mean,
Edge?
I was feeling you as heel. You had a great face run for a couple years when you first came back. You got to stay heel, man. I know you don't want to be part of Judgment Day because apparently there were some spooky effects that you weren't a fan of. but I'm really looking forward to more heel Edge. I don't feel like we got enough of that.
No, I think he's a great heel. I think he's
Looking back
much
on the date of August 10th, 2011, there's not really anything significant that I found. There was a Vader versus Shawn Michaels match. Like, Vader is actually no longer with us, of course, and I don't think Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement anytime soon to put on any sort of 5-star bangers.
Sure hope not. Not after that. Not after that shit show he had in fucking Saudi Arabia.
That was not his fault. That was if anything, Shawn Michaels looked better than Triple H tore his pec. Shawn Michaels
it was bad.
Shawn looked better than Kane and The Undertaker.
After what Cody put on with a torn pec, that can never be an excuse again.
Yeah, no, never again.
Oh shit. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I just think that's a fun little thing. So
Liv Morgan is the champ.
Thank you, Michael Cole.
Childhood dream.
Yeah.
I was so convinced that wasn't going to happen. I was going to put my fist through the TV if Ronda seriously just put her in an ankle lock, and that was it.
Let's talk about the pop.
I stood up. So I stood up like, no. It's like if I'm in an intense, like, I haven't played Mortal Kombat in a while, but like if I'm in an intense Mortal Kombat match and like shit's getting like fire, I like get up from my chair and I stand there. So I did that when this happened, and I stood up and I'm like,
yep.
What the hell? What's going on? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because like you thought for a second, and props to Ronda, because I thought maybe, but at the same time, then it happened and she got it and she won. And oh my God, the pop. Oh my, like that blew the roof off that place. I don't know that there was another, I don't know that you could have, man, so good.
It was a good moment. It was a good moment, and
it's going to go down as one of the best moments of the year. It really will.
Yeah. Kind of like Kofi Mania. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly the vibes I got from it. Which it makes me a little apprehensive of what's going to happen.
I worry about that. Yeah,
exactly.
Because you're right.
Should be. You should be.
Well, to be fair though, through Kofi Mania, Daniel Bryan was so good in that whole thing with the.
Oh, absolutely.
That was
his entire career.
As far as WWE title runs go, I mean, that was like one of the best ones ever. It was
fantastic.
It was what, 4 or 5 months long.
Yeah.
It was oh my God, it was must see TV every week. It was the best thing. So yeah, I mean, it has that potential. It has that. It almost. Honestly, to me, I think it more has the big E potential too. Not to stray too far from the New Day, but to be like, oh my God, finally somebody who the fans are behind has the title. Somebody who's worked her ass off for the fans. Yeah, and we watched it and we loved it and we appreciated it. She gets. I mean,
I remember whenever she was that. I mean, she wasn't like a Jersey girl like Carmella back in NXT, but she kind of was. Whatever the hell she had going on, she had a flat brim hat and suspenders going on in NXT and stuff. She was kind of weird thing, and
I mean, I think she's
gone through a lot of transitions, and man, she's really finally built up her character. She's finally connected with the fans. Give us what we want for a minute. Just give us what we want. We don't have to have the same. You know, this is the first time since I don't remember the exact date.
I think it was like 2016. I already
that it's not been a 4 horsewoman. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus Ronda, but yeah, it's insanity. Thank you for giving it to someone else.
Finally, right? Give it to somebody who. Give it to somebody like it's a childhood dream. It's the childhood dream thing, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I mean, they got pictures of her holding a cardboard WWE Women's Championship belt. Like, this is ultimate underdog story, right? Like, this is the kind of shit WWE loves to sell.
Oh, absolutely, and it's the kind of thing that like. Oh my God, I'm moving.
The fuck is that noise?
That's an alarm clock.
Oh, I have a wife. I don't have an alarm clock. She does the same thing.
This is my daughter's alarm clock. Oh, good. It doesn't think we're going to move into the 3000s. It doesn't think it's going to make it 100 years. Oh, no.
Well, that's good.
Anyway, so
My God, she is broken in half.
my God, she's broken in half. All right, kids. So it's to have Liv Morgan as the champ now. We'll see. I hope her title run's great. Like
It'll
her
be
winning it might be short.
Yeah, I don't think it'll last through SummerSlam, to be honest. I'm guessing.
You think they're just gonna?
retain-
You think
just
you
takes
think
it
they're
back.
just gonna put it back on Ronda? Just like
Yeah,
Nope.
absolutely.
Charlotte.
Such good shit. Oh yeah, it'll be a triple threat. We gotta take a triple threat so that then.
Feel good moment. Gonna be real short lived. Badoom.
Wow.
I feel like Charlotte really is the killer of the feel good moment. She's the feel bad moment.
Well,
Right?
That's
Like
why that's why she's the opportunity, pal.
Charlotte ruins everything. You know, whenever she comes out, she's just gonna win.
See, now that Sasha's gone, now Charlotte ruins everything.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I have a
Like-
pecking order of people I hate.
Allegedly.
She got moved up a notch.
Moved up a whole notch.
What are you gonna do when they throw $900 million at Sasha Banks and bring her back? You're gonna be
Oh,
the
They're gonna
saltiest,
bring her back.
the saltiest
Oh.
little bear in the entire world. And
There
I
will be a
can't wait
strongly
for it to
worded
happen.
podcast.
You are going to be just so salty.
I'm
It's so
telling you right now, there's gonna be like this.
What
I'm
if
not
this is like this still is a work.
Yeah,
It's
to
not
me,
fucking work.
this
MJF
could
is a
still
work.
be a work.
Sasha is not a work. Why
This
would
could still be a
Naomi
work.
agree to this?
I really hope that MJF is actually a shoot and Sasha and Naomi is a work and you got worked by WWE. I can't wait. I hope that it pans out that way because if you get worked by WWE in this whole thing, I'm never going to let you live it down.
I'll quit the show. I won't be able to stand it.
Like I will never let you live
He
it
won't.
down.
He won't be able to stand it if that happens. Are we out of topics? I feel like we're out of topics.
I think we're out of topics.
I'm out of
Wait, have we talked
topics.
about blood and guts?
Nobody
Oh,
cares about blood and guts.
I mean, go ahead, Derek. What happened for Blood and Guts?
Well, it kind of sucked, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
it was
Meltzer
Look,
gave
all right.
it 4.5 stars, but I was not impressed.
right,
and I know
look,
this is
all
going
right.
to be like a Tom has finally convinced me, but like I was kind of over it. Like I'd seen enough.
You want me to rant about
I've
blood and
seen
guts?
enough.
Finish what you have to say, because then I have something to say.
No, what I was just trying to get to is like I feel like I've seen this match basically every week, and for whatever reason, Tom, I feel like
It was an
grinding
hour.
down. He's grinding
It was an
down.
hour.
It was
Yeah.
a War Games match.
It
War
was.
games, but it was an hour. There was
Yeah.
so much laying around. Santana Mike Santana got hurt first.
Yeah.
Santana got hurt like 10 minutes
He's out,
in.
out. Like he's out.
He's out. He's out. We may not see Santana for 2 years.
We might never see
Like,
No,
him
he's
again.
probably
We may
going to be in
we may not-
WWE the next time we see him.
No,
we
they,
may never
they
s-
said he may never wrestle again.
So
Oh, it's like
and
that.
can I have the floor? Can I have some like rant time?
I mean,
Proceeds.
I'll
sir.
oblige.
All right. AEW has been working this unsafe style now for 3 years.
Oh,
3
Christ.
wall years.
I didn't
Of-
think it was going to go this way.
All right,
3
take the
whole
time away
years-
from Tom. That's enough.
3 whole years of forced blood, huge spots, and just botch after botch after botch after botch. Now they've been bitten by the injury bug. Or has everybody been working hurt because everybody's fallen off a goddamn skyscraper through a table in the last 3 years, and finally that aggravated injury tore away from the bone and threw an arm into the crowd, and now finally all of the guys that initially signed with AEW are about to be walking corpses, and they need to bring up some fresh talent to murder themselves in the process. So Mike Santana being the most recent victim of this, but like he's clearly not even like the first one this month. I mean, what are there 20 guys on IR right now in AEW? It's a ridiculous number. The number is outstanding, and it's because it's an unsafe work environment, because they let the boys go out there like, hey, it'd be really great if you fell off a 30-foot structure through a table, but that's every week, buddy. Somebody falls through a structure, off a 30-foot structure through a table every week. Hey, Sammy Guevara, I know that, like, look,
he can die. That's fine.
And also going into that match, we were unsure that Jon Moxley was not concussed, that he couldn't participate in that match. Now, Jon Moxley was probably concussed going into that. Like, they probably just didn't put him into protocol because, well, you got to be in the match, champ. And like, I don't know why this is like the 70s all of a sudden when like health and shit doesn't matter. But this is it's becoming dangerous, and it's becoming a little bit nonsensical, especially every week when this happens. So to me, on top of that, Blood and Guts itself, like, I love War Games. I like the War Games matches. However, this War Games match lasted an hour. An hour of my time where there was a lot of laying around and bleeding. Tons of laying around and bleeding. Only like maybe 20 minutes or so of like interesting shit. When NXT would do this stuff, it would be a 25-30 minute match, and it would be all interesting. This was, oh my god, these men have been through a war. They've been killing themselves. Also, the Jericho Appreciation Society absolutely showed up looking like the Backstreet Boys. Am I wrong?
Was that not a pop? Did you know?
All right.
Come on.
I mean, it's fine. Look, they've been doing this for months.
It's entertainment.
Sure. They are the best sports entertainers in wrestling today.
Jericho is literally this generation's Terry Funk saying, I'll make him. I can make him too. I make him. That's Jericho right now.
That was a terrible Terry Funk impersonation, but still.
I'm sorry. Tom, you kill me because I swear I want to sit here and agree with you, but I feel like every time we start talking about AEW, it's like you just bring up a list of fucking OSHA violations, and it just ruins the whole vibe.
What did I miss? We're talking about OSHA violations?
When I talk about AEW, I bring up OSHA violations.
Oh,
I'm
God,
just saying
bless
that like what they're doing is what they're doing as a product is not sustainable. As a like, oh, we're gonna pop everybody with a debut this week, and then blood and guts, literal blood and guts. Oh my god, Mike Santana may never wrestle again. Kenny Omega may never wrestle again.
He said if he has one more setback, he's done.
How many people have been through? Like, at what point are we may never wrestle again? I mean, I guess their roster is as big as, if not bigger than the WWE, with like 2 hours less TV time, but still. Like, at what point?
Well, there's no such thing as budget cuts at AEW.
Main event champion.
No, you just die. You die as a you don't get a pension.
Because I know that in the contract that I have for my job, it says that if I die, I get nothing.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's a death clause.
Your
my contract.
Your corpse has no value to anybody, and that's how it is to AEW too. Their corpses have no value to anybody.
I mean,
they're clocking people out left and right.
Jeff Hardy fell 40 feet through some chairs, and then like was so hurt that like he turned back to the bottle, and then Reba, what's her name?
Reba
Hardy. Anyway, she says, I told the venue not to have booze there, like, because she knew that
bitch is such a loudmouth, attention seeking.
Back on the bottle. I said don't have the booze there. Why'd you guys have the booze there? Jeff's back on the bottle.
Shut the hell up, Rebby. Your responsibility to take care of him. He's a grown ass man. Where's his wife? Why is it that you are his brother? What is
That was her point. She's like, I can't babysit Jeff. Although they brought him there.
Asked you to, bitch. Get off Twitter.
They brought him there, and she knew because she tried. She's like, no booze near Jeff. Don't give Jeff booze. Of course, Jeff got booze, and then Jeff
was drinking a bottle of whiskey on stage,
and then he left. Yeah, absolutely on video, and then he left, and like apparently that evening, found an all night liquor store, bought a big ass bottle of Fireball, chugged that motherfucker in the morning. Blew dead into twice into a breathalyzer. You're at
not guilty.
Not 2.9. Yeah, I plead not guilty. 2.9. 2.9 is approaching death. Okay,
fuck.
It's ridiculous. Okay, it's thing after 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 thing. It's every fucking week.
Oh, we got an F word out of Tom. This is serious.
I didn't realize we had to babysit the fucking boys. Let the boys manage themselves.
No, but we need to not throw the boys off of skyscrapers through tables. And
I'm guaranteed Tony's not asking for that.
No, maybe he's not asking for it, but somebody needs to be the adult.
But he's not stopping it either.
Somebody needs to be the adult in the room.
Giving him hugs.
Yeah, somebody needs to be the adult in the room to say, "Don't do that again." Look,
fine.
Vince McMahon fined Dave Bautista like $50,000 for getting blood in a cage match in a one pay-per-view where he didn't almost fall to his death because he bladed. Okay? Like, Tony is just like, yeah, whatever, jump 40 feet through some oh my god, you won't see this anywhere else because you're killing these men. These men are you're ending their careers, and it's your fault. Somebody needs to say no. Somebody needs to rein these guys in because now you're bit by the injury bug.
Just hire more, bud. Just hire
Mox
more.
is whatever. Mox is your champ, but like he's probably working concussed. But the actual champ, CM Punk, he's hurt.
Yeah, because he's like 45.
Daniel Bryan's hurt. Bryan Danielson's
also
hurt.
40.
Yeah. Still hurt.
Plus, he's a vegan, so that makes you have weak bones.
Hurt. Santana hurt. Who else is everybody? Is Samoa Joe hurt? I feel like Samoa Joe's hurt.
No, he's working on his new Peacock series.
Right. He's just taking some time off. Everybody's hurt. Adam Cole's hurt.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Bobby
hurt.
Fish,
which I bitched about when he first came to the roster. Seriously, we're gonna have constantly hurt Bobby Fish. Oh, what do we have? It's Bobby Fish. He's hurt.
Well, I mean, he's
Kyle O'Reilly.
Literally needs a clause in his contract that says you don't get paid when you get hurt because you're hurt all the time. You have a wonderful mustache, but you cannot work. It's obvious.
Kyle O'Reilly took a full on foot to the balls, and he's having testicle problems. He may never have
really what's wrong with him?
Yeah. He got kicked in the nuts.
Oh,
it's his testes.
He might have to have those removed. He might be Kayla O'Reilly by the time he comes back.
Wow. Jesus.
So we did. I think we're done now, and we need to get into match of the week. I got nothing to add to that.
Oh my god. Tom, what's your match of the week, bro?
My match of the week comes from the Great American Bash, baby. So the main event was Braun Breaker versus Cameron Grimes to the moon, baby. God, what a match. God, I love Cameron Grimes' match. I love Cameron Grimes. When Cameron Grimes gets moving in a match and gets built up, he works better and different than any wrestler I've ever seen. Cameron Grimes is a star. He may not be big enough to be the top guy in WWE, but Cameron Grimes is a star. Braun Breaker's also a star. Braun Breaker is, we were talking about Theory being the next guy, top guy. Braun Breaker's a top guy. He's going to be a top guy. These are guys who are young studs. We're 5-10 years from now, we're gonna be talking about these guys. Hell, 20 years from now, they're gonna be Randy Orton status guys, right? Just a great match between two young guys who really get it, who really, really get it. Braun stuff is so clean, so like snappy, and Cameron Grimes is so exciting to watch. And it was just the perfect meld of like selling and excitement. And Braun was selling a shoulder injury through the whole thing. Braun Breaker selling a shoulder injury through the whole thing. He did a fantastic job with the selling. The storytelling was there. The match was there. It was top to bottom. Like if you were to put on a pro wrestling clinic style match for like new guys, like young guys, that was it. And it had me glued to the TV. I made sure I tuned in for it because I love both these guys. I think they're both about to be huge. They are huge right now, but they're gonna be top guys for a long time. And it was great. So that's my match of the week. NXT. NXT. Look, NXT is really hitting on all the levels for me right now, and it's getting back to me. It's getting back to be one of those things where it's something I want to watch every Wednesday, and that's without exception, or every Tuesday rather. Tuesday without exception. Yeah,
left one.
Sorry. We had a day off this week, so it's like I don't know what day. I don't know what day it is anymore. Yeah. I might be back on track.
I set up shop on Monday. I'm sitting here at 7:15, like, all right, I'm ready on Monday. I'm scrolling through the messages. Oh fuck, we're going Wednesday. Okay.
But it was the 4th of July. You weren't out like about to. I guess your kids are little.
I wasn't doing nothing, man. I was ready to go.
Yeah, I remember those years where it's like, well, my 4th of July ended 3 hours ago. How come everybody else is out having fun?
Yeah, I got a dog scared of fireworks and a 3-year-old, so I ain't going nowhere.
No, Evie, go.
Derek, what's your match of the week, bud? Wearing you out
All
with
right,
the clock?
guys. So I'm really honestly surprised that no one has. I'm gonna give a honorable mention to oh gosh, there's two that I feel like are so good, and I don't want to take yours, Walt, because I know you're gonna be last. So let's just go with Chris Sabin and Frankie Kazarian, actually off of Impact Wrestling this week. I'm guessing nobody watched Impact, but fellas, if you're gonna tune in for one match this week, that was the one to watch.
I mean,
it was a hell of a clinic. It was a technical, clean match. There was one botch that I caught that was pretty fragrant.
Fragrant? It smelled good?
Flagrant? Yeah, it was smelly and terrible all at the same time. But no, man, overall, that was a fantastic match. Kazarian has his family at ringside, so that gave it a little extra pop to it. Those guys, though, put on a hell of a match. Exactly what type of tight wrestling you want to see from two technicians that are at the top of their craft and know exactly what they're doing in the ring from week to week. I honestly miss Kazarian in AEW. I would love to see Chris Sabin in AEW. To be honest, as I was mowing today and thinking about it, you know what I would have preferred other than Forbidden Door is an Impact AEW pay-per-view.
It probably would have drawn better ratings. If
it would have gotten over better here in the States.
If I'm being honest, because the ratings suffered hugely during the build up to that. It would have definitely drawn better ratings from the week to week shows had they built it that instead, because those guys are more over.
Explanation on who anyone is, and you're just supposed to know because you're such a mark. And most of them I do know, but
but they did a terrible job. That build was terrible. They did a terrible job. And the card wasn't finalized until the day of either, and that's the problem. Is that it was a terrible, the build was terrible. They didn't know who they were gonna get, who was gonna clear customs, who was gonna do what and whatnot.
Right?
It was a mess, and I hope they learned something from it. But we'll see. Well.
My match of the week was from Saturday at Money in the Bank, and it was the Usos versus the Street Profits.
That was my second one. I didn't want to steal that one from you. I figured that might be it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I glossed over it earlier on purpose. What a fantastic match in the tag team division. Like, the Usos and the Street Profits are so fucking good. Like, to me, like, if you would take like a mishmash of all of the great tag teams in like history of
Yeah.
pro wrestling,
No,
like,
you're not wrong.
both of those teams are in the top 10. And like, the ability that the four of those guys have, that chemistry that the four of them have, every single time they're in the ring together, it's a banger. Like, so many false finishes, and like, just, telling the story about, like, the Street Profits always thinking that they were better than the Usos and this and that and the other, and just trading shots, going back and forth, false finish. My God. High spot, technical stuffs, great tag spots. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, that was they went to steal the show, honestly, with that match.
They did. Yeah.
They for sure did.
Actually, was just like, fuck this, I'm a star. Watch me.
Montez is about to get a singles push, probably within the next year or so. We're gonna see a title on that man. But he might be, like, we talk about, like, oh, guys, we're gonna talk about 10 years from now, whatever, blah blah blah, like with Theory and what have you. Montez Ford is like a 1 or 2 years from now top guy. Like, he's like, Roman Reigns is gonna go make a movie, but fucking Montez Ford is gonna carry the whole brand on his back.
Him and
Cody and probably Seth. Let's face it, probably Seth.
Oh yeah.
Just run with it, and they're going to be the top guys, and I'm here for it. Like, because I talked earlier about how I'm not there yet with Theory being a top guy. If they put a belt on Montez Ford next week, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
next week, he's that over. He looks that good. He is just, they talk about it. They've been talking about it. They probably got called up in 2019.
Yeah,
ish, mid late 2019. Absolutely, just top.
And they've
guy.
cemented themselves as one of the greatest tag teams in the history of tag team wrestling.
For sure, they're up there with the Usos, with the New Day, with the
Hart Foundation,
the Hart Foundation, the Rockers,
like, the Young Bucks.
They're up there. They're just Dawkins, particularly. Like, Montez has always been kind of like clearly a star.
How good has Dawkins gotten in the last year?
Oh my God! How, like, I was not clear on Dawkins, but Dawkins is now like
he looks snappy. His moveset's crispy.
Dawkins is a top 10 guy for me.
Yeah,
he's top 10 guy for me.
Playing to his strengths, and what I really like about Dawkins, right, especially in this match, that the split's coming because they're starting to tease it a little bit, right? But like, Dawkins is totally using his spotlight time to show that he's got what it takes, because his in-ring stuff in those spotlight moments when it's one-on-one and you've got your tag team partners that are off lane, doing the stall thing and like your spotlight, right? Like, he's making the most of those moments. He had that one little section in that started the last third of the match with him and Jimmy. And dude, like, those two I think are entirely underrated as performers. Like, because you look to the Usos and Jay's the Shawn Michaels, right?
Well, Jay is main event. He's the main event guy,
right? But like, Jimmy's in-ring work is solid in its own as well. Like, he could have a singles run like Jay did.
For sure.
And like, I think that Dawkins and Jimmy are underrated for their work ability, because like those guys had that little section in that match, and it was the best in like 3 minutes of the match.
Well, I think that I really think that like everybody in the match is now like on that same top tier level.
That's fair.
Of like everybody's like, at no point would any one of those men not would be out of place as a U.S. champion, tag team champion, an intercontinental champion. Like, at this point in time, like, you could put any of those belts on any of those men any day, and everybody would be like, "Oh, that makes a ton of sense." That's perfect. Wow, we would be like we celebrated the Liv Morgan win. We would celebrate that win for them in a single structure. Similarly, I think that they have built up Matt Riddle now to kind of be the guy kind of thing. They've built up Riddle. He could be if he were to have a WWE title run. I believe it. I don't know how it would happen with the current the way the storylines are currently. However, I think within the next year he'll probably get one. You know what I mean?
I still think we're going to get the
person though.
I still think we're going to get the Randy Orton heel turn on Riddle. Like it has to happen. Like it's got to happen at some point.
I think
it would be more exciting to me is if it was actually Riddle that turned on Randy.
Ooh.
And what if it happened after Riddle won a title?
Yeah,
Randy comes out.
I don't
to
need
hug
you,
him.
Randy.
Randy comes out to hug him and give him hey buddy, you did it, and I'm here for you. I came back to to hug you. And either way though, really, even if Randy turns on him or vice versa, that's a program I want to see. But and it writes itself at this point. But anyway, take us home, Walt. I think we've covered.
We have. I like that take though, Derek. Congratulations. You got a.
I said it earlier.
Thumbs up from Walt. Look at that.
Derek's a smart guy. We just got to keep him in line.
Yeah.
I get a little off track from time to time. I like
to keep him in line. Got to keep him in line.
Keep me on the tracks, man. I'll come out with some ideas every once in a while.
As long as Derek's got people to keep him in line, he's a solid dude. He just needs to be kept in line.
I mean, if you don't, I might puke on myself at a WWE event beside a small child.
All right.
Well,
all right. Okay.
Otis threw up on Chad Gable on Monday. So.
He's gonna puke.
I love that Tozawa won that freaking hot dog eating.
How funny was that? That whole thing was great. You weren't here yet when I was talking about how fun Raw was, but Raw was man. This was one of my favorite Raws of the year so far. It was
so fun.
All right. Hey, folks, we appreciate you being here. If you're still here, hit the like button. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell thingy because, notifications are our thing. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_Fall WC. That's ONE. Audio folks, we appreciate you. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Yeah, you already fucked.